Lads, welcome back to Fusion YGO, and today we are going to be talking about something a little different and a little controversial. We're going to be talking about, is Orcust really that bad? Why don't we dive into this conversation? And I have math, to support my claim. So stick around, we're going to talk about this.
Lads, if you want to support the channel, pass the like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check out our shop at teespring.com, link in the description. And until December 31st of 2019, if you use the code FUSION15, you can save an additional 15% off your order. Happy holidays. Enjoy the rest of your video.
Okay, is Orcust really that bad? Well, I have in front of me, and you can see them here, a whole bunch of notes. I actually have more notes, but this is the condensed version for all the top strategies of the year. All the decks that I have or others have viewed as the top decks, the top strategies this year. So, first off, let's talk about between Sydney, the YCS in Sydney to the WCQs. So that's the first half of the year. Every YCS except for one, Guatemala and the Dutch Nationals are not in there. Guatemala or South American WCQ. I could not find any information on the South American WCQ. I don't think that changes this too much. It would add a total of 2 events to the list here. So, of those events and how they were broken down, there were 448 top decks. Some were 64s, some were 48s, quite a few were 32. But this is the breakdown that was given to us on the Konami website. So, of those 448 decks, Sky Striker took up a total of 90 spaces, with 0 in top cut at the NAWCQ, which I think is weird. That's according to the Konami website. So this is the information I had. So 90 Striker, 87 Thunder of the 448, 18 Altergeist, 59 Orcust, 112 Salamangreat, 11 Pendulum, and 71 other decks. Okay, so before we dive in too much deeper into this, I want you to hear this from me right now. I did not break up the Orcust variants. There were probably a total of 10 to 12 different Orcust strategies that topped. That includes Luna Light Orcust, Sky Striker Orcust, Danger Zombie Orcust. That happened. Danger Orcust, Cyber Dragon Orcust. All those variants are all included in this. This is every single Orcust variant. This isn't breaking it down into separate categories. It's just Orcust, the engine. And because that's what it was used as in that part of the year, totaling of 59. So for the first half of the year, that's pretty good numbers. Across the board, Salamangreat is the clear favorite. Now, after the WCQ, what do we have? A ban list. Or right before it, actually, too. So right before that, we had the Phantom Knights, Rusty Bardiche. He got banned. We also had Salamangreat Gazelle and Salamangreat Circle, both limited to 1. And I think those are the most notable changes to the list. Multi-roll got hit to 1 somewhere in this time frame. And so did... No, Widow Anchor's later in the year. So, this is Striker almost at full power. It's 1 Kagari. That's pretty much it. And 1 Hornet Runs, obviously. So, not a lot to change. So, Salamangreat dominated, and it missed the first 2 YCSs of the year. It missed Chicago and... I forget the other one. It missed the first 2 YCSs, though, of this year. So, even missing 2 events, it took 112 of 448. So, it absolutely needed to get hit. And Rusty Bardiche and Rank Up Magic Launch both needed to get hit. I agree. Sky Striker, though, took up 90 spaces. Thunder Dragon took up 87. So Orcust was a solid 4th after other decks took up more representation. Alright, so for the second half of the year, the WCQ to the most recent YCS, there's 256 total top decks. Of those 256, 48 were Sky Striker, 20 were Thunder Dragon, 6 were Altergeist, 108 were Orcust, So yes, there was a lot of Orcust, but that's every single variant. All of them. That's not just a Cyber Dragon Orcust, it's all of them. 32 Salamangreat, 12 Pendulum, and 30 other. Okay, so what are the notable changes from the first half of the year to after the WCQs? So after the WCQs and after Worlds and everything, there were a lot of checks and balances. Salamangreat lost Gazelle and Circle, which hit the consistency and made the deck a lot less affordable upon entry. It wasn't like you could just pick up 3 structure decks, maybe a couple of cards, and be done. This deck required you now to get 3 Signet Mining. It required you to have Phantasme to be playable. It made the deck a lot less introductory friendly, is the word. So it made it a little more difficult to get into. Orcust, on the other hand, is a really affordable engine. It was very splashable for most of the year, and then once Mermaid got banned, it went to pure Orcust and Sky Striker Orcust, which has been running rampant for a whole total of a month. Okay, so obviously Orcust has been very prevalent the second half of the year. Before we get into the full year and everything else, and the percentages, and breaking it all down 100%, let me give you my claim. I don't think that Orcust is the most degenerate or the most powerful strategy in the game. I think it's very fair. I think if you're finding it unfair, you're not preparing for it. And I back that up because I've played the deck for over a year. I started playing it in December. If you look back on my channel, if you go back to December of last year, you will see Orcust decks all over the place. And I've been keeping up with the deck ever since. I have called literally every incarnation of, except for Lunalight, I can honestly say I did not predict that. But every other variant of Orcust, I've pretty much called. Cyber Dragon Orcust being a powerful deck. Knew that was going to happen. I predicted Orcust being one of the strongest decks of the year. At the end of last year, it was laughed at. Who's laughing now? But ego boost aside, this deck is very susceptible to hand traps. All you have to do is know when to hit it, which is not very hard. It is very normal summon reliant. It needs its Armageddon Knight or Mathematicians or Scrap Recyclers to go off. And there's so much that you can do to stop it. There's so much. Lancia, everybody's siding Lancia. Abyss Dweller pretty much shuts it down. Necro Valley pretty much shuts it down. There's a lot of decks that can take advantage of those cards and, win over Orcust. The problem is Orcust is very consistent, but is that a bad thing? Sky Striker's been around for 2 years. And we're just now getting annoyed with it. What's making Orcust so bad? I wonder. I remember during Zodiac format, where there was a good amount of people that just said Zodiac should stay around. And I think that was incorrect. 31 of the top 32, a lot of the time, was Zoo. So let's break into the whole year. Let's go away from me being controversial and saying that I don't think Orcust is that bad and I don't think it needs to get hit. So, for the whole year, we had 704 top decks for the information that I could get. And I'm telling you now, there were at least 2 events I could not get the information from. So, of the 704, Sky Striker takes up 138. Thunder Dragon takes up 107. Altergeist takes up 24. Orcust takes up 167. Salamangreat takes up 144. Pendulum takes up 23. And Other takes up 101. There's also, as a notable part of that Other, is 10 of it is True Draco for the year. Some of it's True Draco Sky Striker, but it's True Draco. 10 for the whole year. That means approximately 1 event. 1 per event. It's making top cut. Alright, so let's break into the percentages. So, for the first half of the year, YCS Sydney to the WCQs, Striker takes up 20% of the field. For the second half of the year, not much has changed at 19% of the field, with a total for the whole year at about 19.5%. Not bad. Altergeist, for the first half of the year, takes up about 4%. For the second half of the year is 2%, and for the whole year about 3%. At the beginning of the year, it was one of the most powerful strategies, and then it just kind of teetered out. DZ keeping it alive. Thunder Dragon, for the first half of the year, was 19.42%. For the second half of the year, it's 8%, totaling at about 15.2%. Not bad. Orcust, in the first half of the year, was a total of 13%. For the second half of the year, at 42%. And for the whole year, 24%. Salamangreat taking up 25% in the first half, 13% in the second half, staggering out at a nice 21%. Other decks, 16% for the first half, 12% for the second half, totaling at about 14% of the entire field of Top Cut for the whole year. Okay, so what does that say? Well, if we ban Orcust, looking at the power vacuum, if we just go after strictly Orcust, Salamangreat takes over. I think the correct hit is the deck that's been taking up 20% of the metagame for the whole year, on top of the entire time it's been out, minimum of taking up 20% of the metagame. I think it's time that Striker, and we recognize as a community that Striker is the problem. It's not Orcust. It's not even Salamangreat. It's Sky Striker. Sky Striker Mobilize Engage. It is time to go. Limit it. Ban it. I don't care. I want it gone. If it's at 1, it's not splashable. If it's at 2, it's splashable. It's got to go to 1 or banned. It's got to be one or the other. If you want to keep Sky Striker alive, Konami, that's fine. Put it at 1. It's not easily splashable. It's a waste of time, honestly. It's just a wasted space. It's not like Reinforcements of the Army where it's an easy, just extra monster. It's for spells, it's that do things. It limits deck building. Limit it to 1. If you go after Orcust, Orchestrated Babble allows you to play a hard once per turn on your opponent's turn. That's not that big a deal. If a hard once per turn is going to destroy and disrupt your entire combo, that's on you as a deck builder, myself included. It's annoying to deal with, but it is what it is. Hard Pourer summons 1 from deck. You can use Ash on your turn. Hand Traps literally stop the entire deck. Go Spell just poops on it. DD Crow, no. Skullmeister, no. There's so many hand traps that can do things to it. Orcust isn't the problem, and neither is Salamangreat. Thunder Dragon, with Striker being gone, may see an uptick in play. May not, probably won't. I think that if we hit Striker and hit Striker hard, and then we're going to go after Orcust as well, we have to hit Salamangreat too. Because otherwise we're creating a power vacuum. I think if Striker gets hit, Pendulum takes a step up. Because Pendulum can do a lot of different things, and it would be the deck that would counterbalance everything else. I don't think Thunder Dragon would take the uptick. Thunder Dragon doesn't have an inherently good matchup against Orcust or Salamangreat. It has a good matchup against them, but not a inherently broken one. So Thunder Dragon would probably see an uptick, and so would Pendulum. You would create a boost in the game where there would be 4 decks, and it would be a 4 format, and that would be great. I think keeping Striker alive is making Orcust a lot stronger, and that is inherently the problem. You may disagree, and if you do, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know why you disagree that Orcust is the problem. Why Orcust is the problem if you disagree. And if you agree with me, let me know what you think of the video. Also, same place, comment section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Make sure to check me out on Twitter, because I am constantly posting over there. Or not constantly, but I'm posting more over there. Subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.